From the weird to the insane.
I just heard that there's this gas station in Wisconsin that has shut down their pumps in protest of gas prices. Which got me to thinking, what do you suppose would happen if for one day everyone in the whole world, if not maybe just this country, decided not to buy gas for just one day? What do you suppose would happen? Let me know what you think.
What's next? I'll tell you what's next. High gas prices. Why do you think we have high gas prices? If you listen to one news station, they'll tell you because the oil companies are making record profits. Because OPEC won't release enough oil into the marketplace. You listen to another news station and they'll say because we're not drilling in Alaska. Because we're not drilling up the coast of Florida. You know what? They're both right. They're both exactly right. All of those things are the reason why we're paying high gas prices. What are the solutions? You listen to one political party, they'll say we have to drill in Alaska. We have to drill up the coast of Florida. You listen to another political party, they'll say we have to put a windfall profit tax on the freaking oil companies. We have to force OPEC to put more freaking oil into the marketplace. And you know what? They're both right. We can't pick one solution. You have to use all of those solutions, okay? Picking one is like putting a band-aid on a freaking ruptured spleen. You might stop the bleeding for a little while, but in the end, you're gonna die. We need a freaking president. We need a leader who's willing to step up and solve this freaking problem. Not make a temporary fix of it. You need a guy who's going to go to OPEC and say, listen, you better put more oil in the marketplace at a cheaper price or we're going to hammer the Middle East. We're going to put the Middle East out of freaking business. You need him to walk up to the oil company and say, look, you're making record profits when the American people were suffering. You know what? Now we're going to put a windfall profit tax on you, okay? And you need a guy to step up to the environmentalists and say, listen, we're going to dig in Alaska. We're going to dig off the coast of Florida. If you don't like it, tough. Until you come up with a viable alternative, shut your mouth. You know what the only problem is? None of those guys are running this election. None of these guys are going to do it. Nobody's going to step up and solve the problem because they don't care about solving the problem. They care about getting elected. They care about getting re-elected. They care about getting their friends elected and re-elected. And that's the freaking problem. The solution to the gas crisis is easy. We just got to find somebody willing to freaking solve it. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? What's next? What's next? What's next?
A California Democrat, Maxine Waters, challenged the president of Shell Oil, John Hofmeister, to guarantee the American people the prices they pay at the pump will go down if the oil companies are allowed to drill wherever they want off of U.S. shores.
I can guarantee to the American people, because of the inaction of the United States Congress, ever increasing prices unless the demand comes down, and the $5 will look like a very low price in the years to come if we are prohibited from finding new reserves, new opportunities to increase supplies.
And guess what this liberal would be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing, would be about basically taking over and the government running all your companies.
The word, obviously, that Maxine Waters was looking for there, Shep, was nationalizing the oil industry.
Wow, how did Shell Oil answer that one?
Basically by saying, we've seen a movie before, it's called Hugo Chavez and Venezuela.
All right.
There are three things you could do immediately that would dramatically lower the cost of oil. The first is dump a substantial amount of the strategic petroleum reserve in the market to punish every speculator in the world who has gambled on a rising price because they couldn't stay. If the president were to call a press conference in an hour and say, we have released 1/3 of the petroleum reserve as of today, my guess is the price of oil dropped $50 a barrel. And you'd have a lot of speculators going broke, and you'd have taught some people about betting against the United States. Second, we should look for oil where it is. Let me start with some facts that nobody wants to share with you. In Rocky Mountain shale oil, in proven reserves, we have 3 times the oil of Saudi Arabia. Just that one area. It's currently illegal. You can't go look at it. Congress passed a law saying you can't touch it. But then Congress wants to pass a law to sue OPEC. Shows if you're a Congress dominated by trial lawyers, you know what the answer to everything is. It's a lawsuit, you just don't know what the topic is yet. The Brazilians just discovered 2 huge reserves in the Atlantic Ocean. These are so large that Brazil went from an estimated 10 billion barrels of total oil availability to over 90 billion barrels with these 2 discoveries. It is currently illegal to look for oil in the Atlantic. It is illegal to look for oil in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. It is illegal to look for oil in the Pacific. It's illegal to look for oil in northern Alaska. I mean, the 4th of July could become Energy Independence Day if the American people decide to take this seriously. Because when the American people are aroused, they can, in fact, coerce the Congress. Reagan used to have a saying. He said he tried to show the light to the American people so they could turn up the heat on Congress. And if the American people decided that the 4th of July this year ought to be Energy Independence Day and their congressman or senator shouldn't walk in the parade unless they passed the bill, you'd suddenly see people scurrying on Capitol Hill. Because this could get very, very unpleasant. The third thing you want to do is you want to maximize the development of alternative fuels. You want to maximize building auto vehicles that have flex fuel engines. You want to maximize the opportunity to use a wide range of alternatives. I just had an email from a Texas A&M professor who believes that he's going to be able to take standard garbage and turn it into gasoline for less than half the current price per gallon. I mean, science and technology is exploding across the planet. If you go to nuclear power, which is part of the solution on global warming, it's impossible, if you believe in electricity, to create a solution on global warming that doesn't have a great deal of nuclear power. If you go to nuclear power plants are steady state production. That is, they produce as much 24 hours a day, all day long. The electric grid does not use as much power at night, which means you can use nuclear power plants to generate hydrogen in a way which enables you to start migrating towards a hydrogen economy, which has no air pollution, no global warming effect, but it's a transition process. We're not going to magically leap to some alternative future in 6 years. This is an enormous invested structure we have. And so what you've got to have is a rational plan that says, here's how you punish the speculators this morning, here's how you produce more energy in the near future, and here's how you have breakouts that are fundamental.
Ba-ba-dum-ba-da-da-ba-dum-day.